podcast with Inner City Greens, and you're watching.
Y'all are now tuned in to
KTTV.
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 KTTV. Is that right?
What it do, KTTV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the Daily K Podcast. And on today's episode, I have the founder of Fasting Dice. I will say right now, crowned the fasting guru, Mr. Daniel Reys. How you doing today, Mr. Reys?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Look, man, I appreciate you for taking some time out the schedule to come on. Beginning of the year, man, we're trying to get these weight loss goals together, and healthy is the way to go, man. So looking forward to really jumping into this topic and really talking about things tonight, man. So before we get into things, though, I always like to start with the wellness check. So how have you been doing during this pandemic and staying safe?
I feel like what was that, a caterpillar in their cocoon in my lockdown house? During all this is where I've done the weight loss, so I feel really good. And I know that with the pandemic, a lot of people have gained a lot of weight because we're stress eating, right? Yeah.
Man, come on, man. And the thing is, like you say, stress eating, brother.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. How are you doing?
Look, I remember when it first happened, man, I had a bag, dude. I had like a box of snacks. I was like, dude, I am going to make these snacks last. I want to say, man, before the first few days was up, all my snacks was gone, man. So that pandemic got us, man.
I feel the same way. Like whenever I go to the movies and I bring in my snacks, right? I'm like, all right, the whole movie, I'm gonna have these snacks, and 15 minutes later, they're done.
Come on, man. That's how I go.
That's how it goes. So, that big bucket of popcorn don't last.
So, man, losing 150 pounds plus in 10 months. And so today I want to talk about like fasting. I know so many people at the beginning of the year, they do like a Daniel fast or some kind of thing to really just test the body. I know I did one where I just tried to do meat for a little while. I made it for, I want to say 10 days, but as we look at so many ways to lose weight or so many programs, what made you even decide to go toward fasting versus another way of losing weight?
Oh, that's a great question. So I mean, I've been heavy my whole life, right? So you name it, I've tried it. But for me, when I got to the point that I was looking at weight loss surgery, and that was pretty scary and pretty daunting prospect. Because that's forever, man. They go in, they change it up, and that's it. Like it never goes back the same.
Yes, sir.
So my background is journalism. I spent 10 years in journalism, so I do my research on a lot of stuff, and I thought, well, I'm gonna look into this and see what else there is, and I looked at social media, weight loss accounts to kind of get inspiration. And I did see weight loss surgery, and then the algorithm pops up other stuff. And from there I saw fasting. And what I noticed was weight loss surgery, they lost a lot in the beginning, like first couple months, but then it kind of slowed down. Whereas with fasting, I noticed it was pretty consistent the whole way. So that sparked my interest.
Yeah, when you look at that, that surgery, I had a lady on a few weeks ago, and so she had the surgery, and it was a Wellness Wednesday, and so we talked about the mental side of the weight loss surgery, but getting back to that physical side, like you say, once it's gone and once things are changed up, then you kind of live with that. And I see, a few people that lose their weight back, but because it was like a quick change versus that fasting can be like a full lifestyle change if you really just stay on it. So right. Definitely understanding it, man. So as we kind of talk about the fasting, I always like to give the audience a little bit of background on it. And so we got 4 types as I research it. So we got the twice a week method, we got the alternate day fasting, time restricted eating, and the 24-hour fast. So in thinking of those, which one did you choose that worked for you?
So I've probably done a little bit of all of them. right? At some point, I've been at this a little over 10 months now. But I started with 16/8, kind of would start slowing, increasing my windows. I got down to 1 meal a day. From there, I got pretty comfortable. And then I went to 1 meal every other day.
Okay.
And then from there, it's kind of changed all over. That's kind of where the fasting dice got developed, just to make it different for myself. I have done several days. My longest is I've gone 6 days without eating.
My God.
Yeah. So that's everybody's reaction.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about that is the way I explain it is it's 6 days of me not taking in food, but my body is still eating because it's eating the fat that's stored.
Yeah.
So
Facts.
yeah,
That is true.
Yeah. So but it's also like there's mental components to it. I equate it to running, right? You don't go run a marathon. You start around the block and you build your endurance from there.
Yeah,
Same thing with that. Yeah.
Man, that's it. And so when you did that, dude, how did you train your brain like that? How did that start? So like, let's say here I am, I want to lose this weight. I know everything starts with the mental. Shout out to Vernon. We talked about that yesterday. What did you have to do to begin to say, I'm going to eat one time every 2 days? How was that mental shift?
So it wasn't that I decided to do that. It was because I was doing my fasting. I was doing the 1 meal a day. I knew that for me, I wanted to go low carb or no carb. And I was in a situation where the only food available in that area was pretty unhealthy at the first time I did it. And I looked at it and I was like, man, I went all day without eating. And the only option is this. And if I eat that, it really just negates everything I've done at that point. I don't want to have to not eat for a day to only ruin it and just basically make it a wash, right? And I felt comfortable because I've been doing it a while. So I was like, I'm just not going to eat. That was the first time.
Yeah. And
nothing happened. Like I felt fine. It's not like I shriveled up and died and I was fine. And that because I was fine, all of a sudden it was like, well, how much longer can I go? Like it, So
now with that though, like you say, eating off your own body, but how do you do the fasting and still get that fuel for yourself? Like, how do you keep going? That fuel to think, all that.
Yeah. There's that old saying, you have to want it, right? Yeah. And part of what that is like, you have to decide that going that path towards success means more to you than veering off of it. So for me, because I had such bad medical stuff going on where I was literally given 5 years or that could be it. I mean, that's all of a sudden, a Pop-Tart don't sound so good,
Hey.
Yeah. I don't want my headstone to be like, well, here he rests because chicken nuggets were delicious.
Look, man, it was that one. He just wanted one more.
Right.
I'm with you on that, brother. Like you say, man, you always want to be able to make that decision, but like sometimes life throws that curveball and makes that decision for you. So it's good to hear that. Now, with that fasting, and that talks a little bit more about that fuel. Was it working out at the same time, or was it just the rigorous fasting?
Oh, I work out. A lot of it for me is I just enjoy working out. Plus, I was at the spot where I literally couldn't even walk at some points. So to go work out is like, I'm making it. I'm doing it. I'm living my life again. So just the fact that I can go is part of the reward that I've gotten to that point again. So,
but dude, that's hard though, man. We talking 165 pounds, man.
Yeah, that's a person.
That's Yeah, that's a person.
Yeah.
But wow. So in doing that, I mean, how was it like the first 25? Like then your next 50? Was it a time? I mean, like what was that process like, man? I'm just trying to fathom.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too to remember is like the numbers, right?
Yeah.
Because I was so big
Okay.
that a lot of weight loss is also where you start, right? So like if you're 200 pounds and you lose 5 pounds, that's significant. Whereas if you're 600 pounds and you lose 5 pounds, it ain't a drop in the bucket, you know? So where I was, it was easy to get the bigger numbers in the beginning. Um, but those bigger numbers are very motivating because now it's happening,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, come on, man. Just going through the process. And like you
Yeah.
say, just seeing that initial, because it's not like seeing the results. That'll motivate you, man. And
Oh, yeah.
so
Oh, yeah.
coming down now, brand new wardrobe,
Yeah.
doing a lot more.
A lot more, doing a
And
lot
then
more. Yeah.
and also and the thing is you're doing this in the pandemic at the house. Shout
Mhm.
out to Vernon, great perspective. So now as you're
Yeah.
doing this at the house, along comes the fasting dice.
Mhm.
Talk to us about the premise of that. Man, and how do we use them?
Yeah. So, having done fasting for a while and doing a lot of research about it, the whole idea behind fasting is to mimic ancient eating patterns, right? Our ancestors, it's not like they looked at their watch and was like, "Hey, you know what? It's lunchtime. I'm gonna go kill this brontosaurus, and we're gonna eat." You know, early humans, it was eating because of opportunity, right? They came across the rabbit, they killed the rabbit, now we eat. Or they came across the fruit tree, now we eat,
Mhm.
right? It was opportunity, it wasn't availability or scheduling.
Mhm.
So to me, it just seemed ridiculous that people are like, "Well, my window opens at noon, I'm going to eat now."
Mhm.
That I figured there's something missing. There's also too like I had I, my grandpa was a professional bodybuilder in Mexico and pro wrestler, so I have an affinity for watching like lifting videos and all that. And in those videos, those guys, right? I don't want to be that guy, but
Yeah.
there's inspiration there,
Yeah.
and they talk a lot about what they call body confusion, meaning you have to change up your workouts because if you do the same thing in the gym every time, you're gonna just top off at some point. So you got to change it up. So I thought the same thing with fasting. Like my body's gonna eventually get used to it, right? So I got to change it up. So my first thought was like, well, there's got to be some, I don't know, something to randomize it, and I was wondering what that would be, and so I looked online, and I thought, I'm a giant nerd, and so I've got all sorts of dice for D&D because I'm that guy, and I thought, well, there's got to be like some sort of fasting dice, and there wasn't. I was really surprised by that. So I looked around some more. There was nowhere anywhere on the planet that I could find them, and I looked everywhere. So I decided, well, I'm gonna develop them, and I did, and I filed the patent, and sourced them and
Yeah.
designed them, and
Come
now
on, man.
now I've got them, and I've got them on a website, and so the idea is you just shake them up. One tells you how long to eat, and one tells you how long to fast. You just change it up as you need to.
Nice. And how
Yeah.
how often? Like, is it oh, like you say, as you need to. Is there a recommended time though? Like, let's say if should I roll every week or should I?
So I have some people I know that are using them because they just came out,
Yeah.
right? And so there are some people who they fast, they will roll them, do their windows, and then roll again and see what else is next. And so daily they change it up.
Wow.
I know
Okay.
some people who they'll sit there with a calendar and they'll roll for the whole month and then just schedule it out. Because for them, instead of saying, well, I can only eat dinner because I'm only one meal a day or whatever,
Mhm.
they can say, hey, I can do lunch with a friend on that Wednesday because my eating opportunity is there. And now I have that social availability.
Yeah.
There are some who, hey, I've got these, I don't know, 24 windows, right? 20 hours of fasting, 4 hours of eating. And they're seeing success with that for a week. So they're going to let it go. because it's still going good and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe in a week they'll roll again and change it up. It just, part of it is making it work for you.
Yeah.
And what you want to do.
And in a typical 16/8, like you said, that what did that day look like for you?
Well, so at that point, that's right in the height of the lockdown, right? So
Mhm.
there was a lot of just Netflix, but yeah,
Yeah, facts.
but yeah, I mean, the funny thing too is with the fasting is you don't really have to meal prep because you're not eating for a lot of the time, right? So part of the issue for me was I needed to find ways to occupy my mind. So I would learn more about fasting. I would research more about that. That seemed to help. Also, meditation helped because meditation, a lot of it is learning to let go of ideas. So, thinking about a burrito and then learning to let that go, that really helped.
Man, how was that process? How do you do it? Give us the tips, man. I told you, man, the fasting guru here, man.
Yeah. At first for me, I had to write down my goals, write down why I deserve to reach those goals, how I expect I'm going to feel when I reach those goals. And so whenever I would have a craving, even though it wasn't time, I would look at that paper with all that in there, and that helped keep me going. That helped motivate me to keep it up and be into it.
Man, come on, man.
Plus, also I had the 5-year clock. So
yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Well, facts. That will definitely keep you going.
Yeah, for sure.
And so basically, using the dice. Let's say I when you said daily, so I'm at work, and I want to kind of use them. Then is that something I can do as far as utilizing them on how I eat at lunchtime, or how does that work on a daily situation?
So the dice will tell you, like, okay, so looking at them right now, right? It'll say, I pulled one up, 18-hour fast and 10-hour eating window, right?
Okay.
So that's 28 hours, right? So what that would mean is you don't eat for 18 hours. So if you're at work and you're within that time period, you're not eating, right?
Okay.
And then, so when you do have your 10-hour eating window, that's not 10 hours of straight eating and let's go crazy. That's just, you have the opportunity to eat within those 10 hours. So, average person goes every 5 hours with a meal. So, what you got to do then is, 5 hours every meal, that's 10 hours. So that's 2 meals. So you figure out where you're going to do your 2 meals in there and you enjoy those. And that's it.
Nice.
If you're struggling, maybe one snack, but that's it. Like, you need that downtime between eating. It's the constant grazing that's a problem.
That's it. Eating when you're not hungry. Come on, man. Look, man. I'm gonna have to give me a pair of those, man. I think I could try it out. Just go through those. And so Vernon came through, man. He said he loved the concept. So just speaking of him being on the show yesterday, and he talked about just simply combating enablers. You asked him that question. Yeah. And so I turned that question around and asked you, as you went through this, you got a different mindset, you fasting doing that. How did you combat the enablers?
Yeah, so in my family, right, and I imagine just about in everybody's family, because we're humans and this is what we do, we celebrate, we eat, right? We get together, we eat. It's just, I can't think of a society or culture that doesn't do that, right? It's what we do. And so, like, in my family, yeah, we all get together and eat. So those were my enablers, like, especially like, oh, you're not feeling too good. Here's this, enjoy this and feel better. And especially when I was in the beginning where I couldn't walk, I couldn't do things. What was I going to do to enjoy life? Well, that cheesecake looks amazing. That when you had nothing going, at least there's something, So I had to learn to just turn that off and say, look, I can't have that. I also had to have a hard talk with family and friends and be like, look, we all want me around. At least I hope we all do.
Yeah.
And so when you're offering me, food when I'm there and it's not time for me to eat, that makes it harder for me to do what I'm trying to do. So if I tell you I'm not eating, please do not offer me food.
Yeah. Come on,
man.
And you got to have those real heart-to-heart talks, because, man, especially when you're working on that food, because it is everywhere. Like you said, well, whenever we have any kind of function, we're gonna pull out something or take some sweets. But man, that last Cheeto could be the reason that all goes bad, man. So
right.
Hey,
yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
So, man, just thinking about people who are in this situation, don't believe that the fasting is real. What do you say to those people, man, to kind of get them off the couch and even into researching the fasting to start that weight loss plan?
Yeah. So, my background is journalism. I did, in TV production, and I did 10 years in journalism. So I've done my research. I know what to do. And, one of the crazy things is a lot of people don't know this. They all think that this fasting is like woo-woo alternative medicine or whatever. But the reality is, in 2016, the doctor who won the Nobel Prize for Medicine showed the benefits of what's called autophagy, which is only achieved in the body through fasting. And he showed that it helps reduce heart disease, it could combat cancers. They're currently doing a study right now. I want to say it's the University of California, if I remember right. They're doing a study on if you have breast cancer, can fasting help fight it now? Not, prevent it, but combat it now. And there's early results that show, yeah, it can. He showed that it helps with dementia and will clear up that brain fogginess. It's helped with arthritis. Like, all of these things get taken care of through fasting. It's amazing. So,
man, that's it, man. That's it. Yeah. And so good to hear you, man, just staying on that journey. So what's next, man? How are you going to keep it going, or is there a limit? First off,
well, I still got more to go, right? I'm not.
That's what I was going to say. First off,
yeah.
Before you even get to that, please, if you don't mind sharing, can you tell us where you started?
Yeah. So, I don't know for sure what my top was because, when I was at my top, especially in the end of life room, they stopped weighing me because I had internal bleeding. So they were afraid to even put me on a scale because I could, whatever. Yeah. So I don't know. I know the last number I had was 460.
Okay.
Was at my top, but it could have been more. And I'm only 5'4", so very circular. But yeah. So I know when I started this 10 months ago, my home scale tops out at 390. And it took a couple of months before I could see numbers on the home scale. So I say that I started at 460. Could have been higher. I don't know for sure. But I'm now, as of just a couple days ago, 295.
Come on now.
So, and that's in only 10 months.
Yeah.
Right? When I looked at weight loss surgery, they told me I would be lucky to lose 100 pounds in a year. Right. And I'm over that in 10 months. I'm nearly double that in 10 months. So more weight in less time, and I don't have to change up my insides.
Now I ask, what is the limit? What's the bottom?
So according to my cardiologist, for a guy my height, a healthy weight is somewhere between 150 and 350, or what? Yeah, 150 and 130.
Woo!
Which, yeah, that's some light weight. I don't know if I'll ever get that small. Yeah. That's pretty tiny. I mean, I feel like I can fit in people's pockets at that point. But
that's a high school weight right there.
Yeah, not for me. That's more like maybe 4th grade weight.
Hey, look, see that? Last time I was that is when I was passing it.
Yeah. So I want to get to a healthy weight. I don't know what that magic number is. There's also like, you got to think about like muscle weighs more than fat. So if I'm in the gym a lot, like that could kind of change it up a little bit. So lower.
Come on, man. Congratulations on the work
Thank you.
That you've been putting in to get here. Yeah, man. I guess the biggest thing is let's get these dice, man. I need to check these out, man. So look, man, I love this concept, man, and I really think it'll be good. So tell us, where can we find you? Where can we find the dice? Give us the information.
Yeah, so it's all at fastingdice.com, all one word, fastingdice.com. I've got a contact page, so if you want to reach out to me, it's right there. All my social medias are linked there as well. And you know, if you have a question about it, I'm more than happy to help. I also have a resource page which has videos that I've done explaining different concepts of weight loss. You know, why diets really don't work. There's a lot of science behind that as well. There's a Dr. Jason Fong did a book called The Obesity Code, and that also breaks down why diets don't work. It has all the science behind it, and it's nuts. Like, but yeah, if you want the dice, if you want those resources, they're free. Well, the dice aren't free, but the resources are free. Yeah, so. That's
cool, man. Well, I sure appreciate you, like I say, taking some time out just to come on, man. Give us some background on the fasting. Give us a few tips. Most importantly, man, talk to us about those dice. Like I say, I learned something of just being able to switch it up. But yeah, you know, nothing normal. And I noticed myself, I do that fasting. But what I take from our conversation tonight is sometimes I do blow it, man. I do all that good fasting, then I may stop by Wendy's and grab some nuggets.
There you go.
I blew the bag, man. I blew the bag. All right, man.
Especially in the beginning, I would do that too. So like, I'm right there with you. Like, yeah, we're humans, right? We're not perfect.
Man. Hey, man, it's a work in progress, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it, man. So I appreciate you again.
Yeah.
All right. This is KT for KTTV signing out. 100.
Yeah, thanks for
having me. This is Darnell with Broadcast Houston.
This is Dr. Tamara Beckford. Hey, this is Candace.
This is London Underwood. This is Kirsten Bass with Inner City Greens, and you're watching.
Y'all are now tuned in to
KTTV.
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 KT